Good morning, everyone. I'm already in the barn. Had a lot to carry over here today, so couldn't start outside. Well, as you saw in that other video, if you watched it, Copperhead's gone, Mama's moved back in. They were ready to go back in the coop, and they had most of their babies with them. I guess some of them didn't find their way out, but they did, and pretty amazing to me on how there were two hens in there. They look like sisters, both of the hens. They look exactly the same, like they may have come from the same hen and the same rooster. I'm not sure. It was a little interesting when we noticed that. And they sat on the eggs together. Now they're taking care of the chicks together. Anyway, they knew something was wrong and they got them out of there. Now they're back in. Anyway, so I wonder, as I said, when I noticed a lot of people are really worrywarts, and that's most likely where depression and anxiety, certain other just malfunctions that weren't there suddenly appear, right? Especially when children grow up into teenagehood and then adulthood. Schizophrenia is one of them. There's no child, as far as I know, that gets diagnosed with schizophrenia. That happens between the ages of, 18 and 25 or something, right? Yeah. It's often drug-induced as well. So, of course, one trusts to go to the doctor and get something. So you stabilize, and that's amazing to me, and a bit bamboozling to me on how you can take a drug and it stabilizes your mind, right? Okay, is it stabilizing your mind or subduing your mind? Okay, just saying. So, a doctor, you go and you trust the doctor to fix you. Well, I think that depression, anxiety, now there are some malfunctions that in the brain, this and that, I get the extremism in that as well, and that happens, okay? So thank God there is something to, stabilize people who are completely going out of bounds, right? And then can do some really awful things. Or just be crazy. That's what one calls crazy, I guess. So, but for most people, it isn't that. For most people, it is, how do I find some peace of mind amidst all the chaos, amidst everything I need to take care of, amidst everything that I'm being told what to do and what not to do, right? So then, when someone comes along, like me, and tells you, well, have you ever thought of that? And I've mentioned that before in videos, but things have to be talked again. Is that we're not designed, God did not design us to go crazy. He did not design us to be overwhelmed or to fall in a depression. There are many different ways to be depressed as well. That's another amazing thing. All these other mental things. Now she's going back into mental health. No. And what I found is that often spirits, right, are creating this havoc around us, within us. Okay? They really do. There are a lot of unhappy spirits in spirit world. Oh, well, why would that be? Think. Let's just take the wars. It doesn't matter which side it was. A life was taken in a very violent way. Okay? How do you think that spirit's going to spirit world? Oh, thanks for taking my life. Yeah, cool. No, they're upset and they're angry. And they want you to apologize for taking their life. Doesn't matter if it was right or wrong. That's what they want. When spirits have been sexually abused and they go to spirit world through a violent death like that, just using that. There's many times when people pass, even in a very, okay, I'm going to spirit world, or this or that, right? In spirit world, everything comes out. Everything. One could call it just simply a lot of unfinished business. And it always includes other people on earth here now. So number one, there are spirits that are so angry, so hell-bent on continuing whatever, this and that, that's one reason people sometimes just go nuts. They're so overwhelmed with the thoughts and actions of a spirit wanting to invade their space. Eventually something has to give. And it gives often, if one were to actually know the spirit or spirits creating that havoc with that person, we'll go, wow, that's exactly what they did. Now here's the thing. There's a way to restore all that by not giving in, by knowing that. That's kind of where I'm getting at here. So, there are heavier cases and lesser heavier cases, this and that. But there's a simple way to start. When you start to feel depressed, when you start to have anxieties, do this. Say the Lord's Prayer. Say the Lord's Prayer with as much heart and sincerity you're capable of. Not for your own self. For whatever, acknowledge, so you're here. Instead of giving in, and an unhappy, depressed spirit comes and visits you, influences you, kind of takes over, okay? Instead of letting that happen, say, okay, I know you're here. Now, this is what we're going to do because you need some healing. And you say the Lord's Prayer with real sincerity from your heart to mind for these spirits that are trying to attack you. That's what they're doing. And then, guess what? You become a teacher and a healer to that negative surrounding of yours. Well, why do they come to me? Ancestry, okay? Hello? Also, some people are so sensitive. Right? That's what I found. Even with people who overly alcohol abuse, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, are often really, really sensitive people. But they don't have the guidance on how to deal with what comes towards them. So rather than getting out of it, realizing, I'm meant to actually restore a lot of people, a lot of spirits around me, they fall into the exact same whole pit that these spirits are in. Yeah, see? Does that make sense? It should make some sense. So anyway, one doesn't have to know all of that. When you go to the doctor, you don't know everything the doctor knows to heal you, help you. Right? It's the same with people like me. You don't need to know everything. I'm telling you what you can try and do to see, hey, is this going to work? It's worth a try. I know it works. Then, of course, too, you have to believe. You have to have faith. How deep is your faith? How deep does it go? How much do you actually do believe in this invisible God? A lot of people talk about this and that. How do you actually? Do you? Yeah. You'll be amazed when you start restoring spirits that are trying to, people call it an attack. But really what it is also often, you're being given this chance to teach spirits. Not everything's hunky-dory in spirit world. Well, yeah, in heaven, but how can heaven be all that happy if there is a part of spirit world that's in such chaos? No person, okay, righteous person, a person with a good heart to mind, will live entirely happy and nonchalant in this and that, knowing what's going on out in the world, especially with children. Have to keep mentioning that, don't I? Well, okay. So, being a little bit manipulative here, because that seems one of the few things people actually, oh yeah, for a minute and a half. Okay. So do that. Well, here's the thing though, right? When you are physically sick, one pill, depending, one pill isn't is not just going to fix the problem, right? Okay. So you when you start that, when you really will, so okay, I'm going to give this a try. I'm sick and tired of what's going on in my life. Doing everything right. I'm a good person. I take care of my family, and yet, where is this coming from? Okay. Some of it is the regrets, guilt from your past. But that's past. So while you help restore spirits around you that you don't really want there, okay, or are creating havoc in your life, then you're also restoring your past. You're doing that as well. So you feel calm. Also, maybe there is still someone you need to go and apologize to. Just do it. Even if the other person, oh yeah, that's an easy one for you to do now, this, that. But people think that way. Even when you really sincerely try to do that. But the thing is, that's not your problem. What really matters is where your heart to mind again is with that. Sometimes it can't be done in person. A letter has to be, right? Don't do it through virtual reality. That is just, this is a lazy way to do it. A letter, write a letter. If that's what it is needed, right? Anyway. There is a, in the AA meetings this snap, I've gone with some people just to get them there, but we're kind of a little shy to snap, so I've gone with maybe a couple of people just to begin with, and just to get them there. Right? See that it isn't the end of the world or something. But anyway, in the 12 steps there's one where when you get to a certain point, okay, this step now is to go and apologize to people for the pain they caused, or the destruction they caused, or the violence that they caused, or whatever, right? And I was the recipient of that one time, and it was not well executed, I have to say. And I thought, now, I know they have these 12 steps, but are these 12 steps really explained in a way where then they're not just physically restoring something, but spiritually they're truly restoring things? Plus many alcoholic spirits around them. You see, another one. Same with, Drug Anonymous and Sex Anonymous, and I don't know what. Same thing. So there's teaching missing when it really comes to the spiritual aspects of restoring not just you, but whatever is around you, you cannot see. Right? How many spirits? Maybe it's just one. Maybe it's 100. Could it be 1,000? 10,000? Well, so they're good programs, but they're only half done. Right? Only half done. A little more knowledge there on why you're doing it, really. Right? I found, I think I mentioned that before, I did a 3-day fast with lemon juice and water or something. Oh my gosh, it was a cleansing diet. 3 days only. I was dead on the 3rd day. I was so tired. I laid there on the wall in our living room. I'm going, ugh. I have no energy. I have, right? And then I did a 7-day fast as a spiritual condition. Oh my gosh. I'm going, oh my, I have children. I'm going to be a wreck. This is just, how am I going to do this? Because of my past experience. And I started it. As I say, it was a spiritual condition. So it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to diet. Right? Or a cleansing diet for my body. Right? I want to diet. Right? It was for something more than myself. It was a condition for something out there in the world to have a foundation. It was amazing. I wasn't tired. I wasn't hungry. Even at the cook for the kids, this snap. After 7 days, I'm going, I think I could do another 7 days. I had no desire to eat. None. It was, wow, what a difference an attitude makes. You see? Yeah. Anyway. So it's the same when you're doing something to try to figure out how healing can happen for you in the realm of the psyche, right? Which often the psyche, when you have problems with your psyche, then there's automatically there are desires for other things that physically then are not good for you either. That's just an escalation of that. And so, if you really want to address your psyche, then try it in this way. You'll be amazed. I've mentioned that before. I was cutting wood, and I like cutting wood. And I suddenly had these thoughts invading my mind. Why do you have to do that? Man, this is a man's job. I got better things to do. And here I am cutting wood. I've got it. Yeah, I stopped and I went, wait a second. Where did that come from? It was like stirred on. 1 minute I'm fine. The next minute I have these thoughts going through my mind. I said, wait a second. I don't feel that way about cutting wood. I love cutting wood. What had just happened? Now, you see, I know myself well enough. I knew something wasn't right. I'm going, oh. So I just stood there, paid attention, and I suddenly realized, oh, well, hello, and who are you? And I could literally feel the spirit jumping backwards. Whoa, she knows I'm here? I said, okay. I started laughing. I said, you kind of picked on the wrong person here. But then I'm not so sure if you're really picking on me or if you're actually asking for help. So here it is. If you're just picking on me, trying to create havoc here, you can leave right now. This is my domain, and you sure as heck are not going to do this here. But I tell you what, there's another way. If you're looking for help for whatever is going on with you in spirit world, and you need to restore something, right, then you can stick around, and I will teach you. Well, it was a man. Again, what work was I doing? Do you think I would have a woman spirit coming? No. So I said, you can stick around. And he was so blown away that I wasn't, even though I recognized he was a spirit trying to create, that I wasn't cussing him out. This and that. I gave him two choices. He was totally blown away. I could tell. It's like speechless. Stuck around for quite a while. And suddenly we were gone. I don't know, a few weeks, a few months, can't remember. I don't pay much. Once I start the restoration process with spirits, then I don't think about it anymore, how long they're going to stick around with this or that. Right? That is a focus that would take all day. I'm not going to do that. I got things to do. All right, I'm talking to you, and I got things to do. So, but I could tell that as time went by, the nature of the spirit changed. Usually by the time they leave, they're ready to assist heaven with other things. Nice, huh? You become like a teacher down here on earth. So spirits then become productive in spirit world. Neat, huh? Yeah. Anywho, that's the word guide. And it's not for everyone. But if you are suffering from depression and anxiety and I don't know what, you're probably a very sensitive person to spirit world. That doesn't mean you have to see them, this or that. But my feeling is that you definitely will feel them around you. Something is different from today than it was yesterday. Because yesterday I was fine. Today I'm not. Right? We as people here in the physical and spiritual, we don't change like this overnight. So something else is there. Right? It's kind of easy to prove that way. So, well, what if it sticks around? That just depends on how much you let something like that get to you. Again, right? If you are hopeless about something like that, then you will just sink further and further, and it'll be more and more difficult to get out of it. But even down in the deepest slump, this or that, when you suddenly become aware, I must pray with a sincere heart to mind. You can even ask for forgiveness for a spirit maybe you never had, not your problem, you never did anything. And yet, the change that can make is pretty unbelievable. Okay? So you ask, and you have to do that for at least 3 days. Okay? At least. If you're someone very prone to it, just do it every day. Because that's another thing. Okay, so here's the other side of that. Once spirits realize that you are actually helping and healing them, rather than becoming a part of them, you will have more coming. Well, who wants that? Well, if you have figured out that with no other way to be involved in except for every day, once a day, say the Lord's Prayer from heart to mind, with the greatest sincerity for these restoring spirits. Some of them still need to wake up, but they do when they realize I'm not met with wrath. I'm met with love. Then you'd be amazed. It won't affect your life anymore. It really won't. Then there's the other thing too. When you become more aware of and what is going on spiritually around you, you can set boundaries. I've done that where that spirit's coming going, I don't have time for this right now. You guys need it. This is my home. Boundaries. And you go and you stay in line. And if you don't, well, what if you don't? Well, no, it doesn't take more than that. There are rules there too, right? And it's in a way amazing on how spirits actually do adhere to rules. Because they're just in spirit as well. One can say it this way. So that's why the question, well, so what if they don't leave? What if they don't follow your rule? Well, they don't have a choice, right? The reason spirits can invade others so easily, right, and influence them, right, that's not guidance. That's influencing someone to do things or feel things that aren't theirs. They can do that because you're not aware. You don't know. That's why, right? It's like a thief coming in the night. You don't know it's there and steals your stuff. Gone? And then, what happened? But if you're vigilant and you stay watch, got a dog, that dog barks. When the thief comes, you're going, yeah? Hi, what you gonna do? What do you want? What are you doing here? Oh, I just came by to say hi. See ya. Going again now. Right? Yeah, see? There's a difference there, isn't it? Yeah. Opportunists. Spirits can become opportunists too. Yeah, they are. So, because I'm still physically here on earth with my spirit body, right? Then I have that deep love for God and I experience that deep love from God. I help spirit world. Spirit world helps me. I am much stronger without a weapon or anything. It's my being that is strong, and spirits, when I'm aware of them and let them know, excuse me, suddenly they can't move. They can't move in my space. You see? Yeah? Okay. It makes sense. Again, a doctor can explain all, okay, you have your kidneys, blah, blah, and then it gets into the technical, and you're sitting there going, so what do we do? Right? But really, you have no idea what's actually going on with your kidneys. Right? It's kind of the same. I'm telling you, this is what you do. Say the Lord's Prayer. All right, so how about, don't even let it get to that point. Be prepared. Say the Lord's Prayer every day. If you are someone with depression and anxiety, every day you say the Lord's Prayer with the intent of healing, teaching spirits to begin their healing, to start restoring. What needs restoring? The unfinished business they carried into spirit world. You see? So why doesn't that happen just there? Some of it does. Actually, the ones that are being taught in spirit world are already at a level spiritually where they don't need to come back to earth, right? Yeah, reincarnation. You know, reincarnation isn't reincarnation in the physical. Reincarnation into spirit world is you come back as a spirit trying to restore something, trying to get help. Or, as I said, create havoc, this, that, because you're still so freaking mad, this, that, right? That then you don't really know why you're still here. Yet, you continue kind of living the way you did. Okay, spirits, talking to spirits now. They're here. They're listening too, right? That is what it is. Right? Because on earth, right? In spirit, you only have one body, the spirit body. On earth, you have two, your physical body and your spirit body. What's the stronger realm when it comes to restoring? we are here for a limited time as a person. In spirit world, you are forever, eternity. Any little thing that needs restoring takes forever and ever and ever in spirit world. Where here on earth, if spirits have people working with them, or helping them heal, or letting them know, hey, you're sick. You need to wake up. This is how we're going to do it. Instead of trying to influence you. You see? Then that goes a lot faster than the spirit growth, right, that they still need to actually get into a better realm in heaven comes from here. You see? That's why. Things have gotten, right? Okay, things were never really great. All through the 6,000 years of history of God's love and creation and this and that, right? Really? Right? We know that. So there's a lot. And how has religion really dealt with it? Right? Yes. But we got a woman out there, true mother, who is laying amazing foundations for more and more truth in certain areas to come out, where hope, never should lose hope. Never. What about faith? Faith should be ingrained in your heart, anchored, right, as strongly as your heart is in your physical body. Right? If it is not there, how do you live? Right? About hope is your heart to mind. Hope. And when you hope, there is always an answer. When you start working for God, that's when you start working for God. You'll be amazed. Right? You won't need to go in on them quotes, you know. If you say amen or say I love God, this, that, and then, a miracle's come, you don't have to depend on things like that. You're having the give and take that is needed. And these miracles will happen to you every day. Every day. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share. Depression, anxiety, right? I made some other videos. They're always kind of the preface, then two, right? And even if it's just for one person, that's considering how many billions, trillions of spirits there are in spirit world. How many need restoring? If you just look at all the wars we had, all the soldiers that died, that's an awful lot already. That's just that. But I use that as an example here, one of them. If there's just one person on earth that starts doing that, yep, I'm going to try this. So can you do it even if, of course. I think if you pray about it, say, okay, I'm ready for God's work. Tell me, what do I need to do? And how do I need to do it? You will be given an answer. You might have to wait. You got to be patient. It's usually in a realm where you feel attacked. Okay, why do I feel like this? Why am I being treated like this? Then you start working in that realm. Again, instead of just looking at the people physically that make you miserable, think of the spirits that are invading these people or yourself, and you start there. See? By giving them what? God's word. God, the Lord's Prayer. Jesus' words. God's words. Inspired in Jesus. You see? It's amazing to me, the Lord's Prayer. It's just a prayer. It's a short one, too. But really, when it comes down to it, it is such a profound prayer. And it has that energy with it. If it is said with a sincere heart to mind, know what you're saying and believe the prayer, you'd be amazed how much of God's love and constancy resides within these words, then spoken out loud. Again, with a sincere heart to mind. Incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. Anywho, that's what I wanted to share today. Yes. You don't need to be as much in tune with spirit world. There's no need for that. The prayer teaches us what? Love and constancy. Right? So that's what you do. Yeah. I have no doubt in my mind that your world, your inner world, will become more calm. And your depression and anxieties, some other things that affects people's mental health now, will just float away. Will get restored, laid to rest. Because you just laid these spirits to rest, basically. Or help them elevate spiritually to move on to the next step. And you're not a part of that anymore. You see? Yes? Right, Maddie? It makes so much sense to the both of us. Yes. Just have to keep teaching. God's love and blessings always. And I will talk to y'all another time. I got to clean the bar now. Look, huh? But I got to take the time. I know if I take the time to do this, my day's going to be a wonderful one. I'd say, man, I don't have time for this. I care. This is not. My day still will go wonderful. But it'll nag at me. Why don't you help us? Why don't you teach people? You know, we love you so. So I do it. The thing is, really, when it comes to, I love doing it. It's just a fall behind for things a little bit, right? Yes? Okay. Well, that's all I have to share today. God's love and blessings always, and I will talk to y'all another time.